Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Super Series Tuesday. I am your host, Stephanie Milburn. I'm also the chair of Housed in the Car. Thank you so much for joining us. In today's episode, we will be talking about financing your investment. So, this series is all about real estate investing 101. So, last week we talked about just the different types of real estate opportunities that are out there. So guess what? Once you figure out what real estate opportunity is best for you, how are you going to finance it? So today we are going to talk about different ways to finance your projects, different ways to finance your investment, different ways for you to make your dreams come true of being an investor and to fulfill these projects that you have on the table. So joining me is my lovely co-host, Miss Erica Rawls.
Hello, hello, hello. Stephanie,
Hey, Erica.
hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know what I was thinking about while I was listening to you is we need to tell people where we are because they probably think we're living in the same area. So I think it's best that people know exactly where we are from. So, yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Before we even do that, I'm going to take it back just a little bit. If you are just joining us for the first time, we are talking about Super Series Tuesday. It is our series where we want to break down different areas of real estate and give you the knowledge and equip you guys with some of the tools needed to be successful in the real estate industry. So, whether you're wanting to do investments, whether you're a first time buyer, we have this Super Series Tuesday available for you guys. And this series is around real estate investing 101. So, again, I am Stephanie Milburn, the chair of Housed in the Car, and I am in Houston, Texas. So, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And, Erica, tell everyone where you are.
Yeah, so I am Erica Rawls, and I am the committee chair for the House in the Car, which I'm really excited to be a part of. And I am located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We are the capital of Pennsylvania. Most people think it's Philadelphia. It is not. It is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Yes, yes. So, but we are excited to have this show.
Yeah, and to be honest, I never even heard of Harrisburg until Erica joined the show.
You know what? You better give us our respect.
Put some respect on your city.
That is right. That's right. No, but I'm happy to be a part of such a great nonprofit organization. Just the things that Donnell is doing just gets me really excited. So, saw the opportunity, auditioned for it, and now I'm here. So, and I get to meet someone as beautiful as you, Stephanie. So, thank you so much. I love sharing the stage with you.
Thank you, Erica, and we love you being a part of Housed in the Car. And not only that, guys, you what you don't know is Erica. I call her my super producer because she takes care of all the behind the scenes, just so we can bring you these videos, just so we can go live today. And she's awesome at it. So I'm not letting her go. So don't try to, steal Erica away. She's going to be my super producer forever. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you guys. And today we have another exciting show for you. So we want to talk about just the different ways of financing your investment. So just some of the things that we want to talk about. One thing that we did kind of touch on last episode that we didn't speak a lot about, and this is something that may not be familiar to people, is crowdfunding.
Mm,
So if you're thinking about doing some type of investment and you are low on cash, but you know a lot of people, guess what? And those people are like minded and they want to do the same things that you want to do. You can get with those individuals and put your funds together. Crowdfunding is nothing more than a fundraiser.
hmm
So it's a fundraiser for your project. So if you want, it's raising small amounts of money with a large number of people. So if you're interested in doing some investment projects and you want to reach out to different people and you're not afraid to share your profits and share this vision with other like-minded individuals, then that may be something that you guys can look into. So it's just really similar to just regular fundraising, and like it's a GoFundMe for your project. So that's called crowdfunding. So you guys can look into that particular type of funding if you are interested in sharing this opportunity with other individuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of areas, different cities, they have their own networking group when it comes to investments. So there's a that crowdfunding mentality. It is starting to become more popular, and it's just making sure that you get into the right investment group and you meet the right people just so that you know it's going to be equitable for everyone involved. So yeah, just make sure you do your homework when you get into involved in those things. But there's a lot of different opportunities out there for so many different people that want to get into investments. That's not going to cost you much money at all. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, that's a good segue in knowing the right people. And so we have a special guest with us today. And she is one of the people that you guys want to get to know because she knows different ways for financing your investments. So we're going to bring out our special guest, Miss Bridget Job of East West Bank. She is the AVP and Mortgage Business Development Officer, and she's going to give us lots of information about different ways to finance. So, Bridget, why don't you tell the audience who you are and where you're from?
Oh, ladies, first of all, thank you so much. I'm happy to really be able to join you ladies today. I know I'm in great company, and
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, my name is Bridget Job. As you know, I'm with East West Bank. I'm a mortgage and business development officer. I've been in the industry a number of years, so hopefully I'm going to be able to share some great information that will help you along the way to purchase your investment properties because it does make a difference, especially in this day and time. And I'm so happy you talked about crowdfunding. That was one of the things that I was going to mention as well. So happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Bridget. Can you guys hear me? Because I know sometimes I have a bad connection. I don't
Oh,
want Erica
yeah.
to start talking really bad about me.
No, you are fine.
No, we can hear you. You're good. You're good.
Okay. So, one thing that a lot of people are not aware of, especially someone who owns a property already and they're thinking about investing in other properties. Some people feel like, okay, well, I already have a mortgage. How is that going to affect me? Am I able to get an additional mortgage, a second mortgage, or how will that affect me as far as having different loans in my name? So, Bridget, why don't you tell the audience, what type of loans are available to someone who is already a homeowner?
Sure. It really depends. A lot of different products out there. And I would say shopping for a, a mortgage, it's like shopping for clothing. You have to go to the right boutique. Okay? I put it to you in that way. You have to go to the right boutique because if you already own something, then that mortgage that you have is going to be taken into consideration when you're buying your new property. So let's just take, for example, you want to buy this investment property and you have a property now. Well, that property that you own presently could actually help you to finance the new investment property that you're looking to buy. Because one of the things you could consider is you could consider maybe taking out a home equity line of credit
Mm.
against where you're living now to
Mm-hmm.
buy the investment property. And I think it's also sometimes can be a great idea to do that because the line is flexible. It's kind of like a credit card. You can borrow and pay back, borrow and pay back. You can get house number one, house number two, house number three, so on and so forth. So it really gives you some flexibility versus having a loan. So um, that would be one thing I would say. And I wanted to mention, because something I want to make sure that the audience is aware, when you're buying an investment property, please, please have a plan in mind. Are you planning on buying it and holding this, like as a landlord? Or are you planning on buying it and flipping it? It makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the things I would really say you gotta hone in on that neighborhood and really see what is your plan. Don't go in willy-nilly because you're gonna lose your shirt.
And you know what, Bridget? I'm glad that you mentioned that someone can utilize the equity that they have. Now is a really good time for homeowners to really take a look at the equity that they have. It's a seller's market right now. So
Mm-hmm.
that means the value of your home is going to be a lot more. And you can utilize that. You can stay in your home and just take that equity out to help you to purchase a new home or do if, like Bridget
Yes,
mentioned, if you're going to do a flip, like if you get a property, you
yes.
can use those funds to take care of the renovation. So definitely take a look into the property that you already own and
Hmm.
see what your value is currently, and you may be able to become an investor just as soon as you can say, hey, I own this
Exactly.
property. So
Mm-hmm.
you might want to definitely take a look at that.
And I like,
Exactly.
yeah.
And one more thing, consider, you mentioned crowdfunding. Consider private investors. Now there are people out there, they are cash rich, and they're really looking to um, be a part of investing in another property. They just don't want to do all the legwork and get their hands dirty, so to speak.
Right.
So maybe you could partner with someone who has the capital, and you're going to go out, find the property, acquire it, and do all the legwork involved. So
Mm-hmm.
private investors are a great source, and there you can find them in many cases through Facebook, through talking with friends, other organizations. But just be careful. Make sure that you know who you're dealing with. It's really key and important.
Yeah. One of the points I wanted to talk about too with the home equity line of credit, why
Hmm.
it's favorable is because the guidelines in which you have to use it aren't as stringent as it would be if you go through your traditional financing for investment property. So that's what I think is really
Yes.
that makes it very
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, the home equity line, number one, it tends to be um, maybe a lower rate,
mm-hmm.
but and in addition to that, the fact that you can borrow and pay back
Right.
is it's an open-ended
Yes.
versus a loan when you take it out and you start paying interest on it immediately. The line you start to pay on the money when you use it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't use it, you're not being paid charged on it. But when you start to use it, you you're going to be charged, and then you can pay it off, use it again. So
Right.
this is what's happening now. This is why we have so many investors in the market.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of cash-rich people who are out there utilizing lines of credit. And cash is king. If you can go into an investment property and say, "Hey, I'm buying this all cash," well, that bid is going to trump any other coming in with a mortgage or so. It makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And for those two, and this is something that we didn't mention the word refinance, but if you're in your home and you do a refinance, now's a good time to refinance because the interest rates are low. So when you refinance, you can also do a refinance with a cash out. And that is another way for you to so it's a little
Sure.
bit different from the home equity line of credit, but it's also similar. But you're
Yes,
refinancing to get a lower rate, but you're able to pull out funds from the equity that you have in the home as well.
absolutely. That's another option. Cash out refinances, if you have, can do so. I would say another option, if you have enough funds. I know this may sound a little risky, but it all depends upon your risk tolerance. If you have enough funds in that 401k, it could be a
Mm.
source that you can tap into as well,
Yeah.
right? So you just have to
Bridget said,
find the
risk it all, guys. Risk it all.
yeah. Look, no risk, no reward.
That's fair. That's fair.
So absolutely. So that 401k could be another avenue. Many times nowadays, what people are utilizing are hard money loans.
Mm-hmm.
And those hard money loans are coming from lenders who they typically they're private investors who've
Mm-hmm.
gotten together, formed an organization, and they can lend that money out quickly. In some cases, they can lend it out with no appraisal,
Yeah.
but the rates are very high. Those rates are typically 8% in that range. And again, I say that if you're going to be using those funds, you had better know what you're doing going into it because you have, as an example, you go into this property, you want to buy it. Okay, you acquire the property. You have carrying costs on the property because you have taxes, you have insurance, you have a light bill that may have to be, electric bill that have to be paid, contractors that will have to go in there if you're trying to do a flip. All these things are going to eat into your return. So you have to have a plan going in. And that's why investment properties can be a little risky. And by the way, the minimum down payment on these are at least 20%.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's a good point, Bridget. I'm glad that you did bring that up because, oftentimes we do get asked as real estate agents, what amount do I have to put down? And it is different when you're buying an investment property versus a first time buyer that's going to own and occupy a property. When you're an owner occupant, the down payment is a lot less. But when you get into investments, because this is something that you're going to make a profit off of course, you're going to end up paying a little bit higher amount for the down payment. So thank you, Bridget, for mentioning that. And she said it's going to be 20%. So I have spoken to someone recently who is purchasing a home, and this particular lender was able to get this property down to 10% down payment, only because this person, they live in California,
Hmm.
but they're going to be purchasing a home here. It'll be a second or third home, but
Hmm.
he was able to get it to 10%. So just different types of scenarios, make sure that you're asking, um, what type of scenario will you be able to get that 20% a little bit less? But
Yes.
typically the amount is going to be about 20% down for your investment properties.
Correct. Yes. It's typically 20%. In some cases, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they want 25%.
Mm.
So that's why I mentioned in the beginning about boutique.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know your different lenders based upon what your needs and qualifications are. Start with the fact that you need to know your credit score and start with the fact of understanding how much capital are you working with. Don't fall in love with the house first and then find that, oh, I don't have enough capital to purchase this property.
Yeah.
So do your homework in the beginning. Get to know what it is that you have in the bank, what your credit scores are, and get to know your lenders. That's key. Get to know your lenders. Yes.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that because one of the things that I'd like to educate people on is
Hmm.
just building a relationship with the key people that are going to make your process simpler.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's with anything that you do in life. So, in this example, for when you're dealing with real estate or real estate investors, your key people are, your lenders, building a relationship
Hmm.
with your lenders,
Hmm.
title
Hmm.
companies, because they're going to make your life simple too. Uh,
Yes.
and then finding a reputable realtor. You can get into investments on your own. A lot of
Hmm.
people do, but having a realtor that hits the ground and knows things that are coming on the market before they actually hit is key. So
Yes.
I like that you say that, understand and learn your lenders, get in a relationship with them, because that's key.
Hmm.
That's key. And they may
Yeah.
be able to, based on your relationship, defer some of those costs too.
Yes.
First, that relationship
Yes,
add value in more ways than one. So, yeah,
definitely.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. The lender, I mean the realtor, excuse me, has a great deal of valuable information. I just want to tell you a quick story. So I'm from New York, born, bred, Brooklyn, right? Okay. So I come to Atlanta and okay, I sold my home there, but I still have my apartment in New York. So I've been traveling back and forth and I'm ready to buy something, right? Well, I found a realtor. I didn't really know anyone here, but he was a newbie. And when I tell you I got burned, woo, ladies, I got burned.
Oh no.
Yes, yes. So l- find a reputable realtor who knows what they're doing, who knows the market, who knows, they and stick with that person. Stick with
Hmm.
them because I got burned. That person, they were new, they didn't know what they were doing, and I
Yeah.
lost my earnest money deposit. It was not a lot of money,
Oh
but
no.
yes, it was enough that, look, it could have paid my light bill, It was enough. Who wants to lose any kind of money, right? But so now I have found someone in the market very knowledgeable, has really, taught me a lot, and just make sure people that you have someone who's reputable, and they can also help you with an attorney, title company as well. So you you have to have your partners in place,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So one of the questions I always get is people that get into investment properties, do I need to create an LLC? And can an LLC actually get financing? So,
Oh, that's a good one.
yes.
Good one. So again, I'm going to take it back again. Your boutique, your lender, some will, some will not.
Okay.
So, as an example, I'll just take East West. We will allow you to. We can you can do it in an LLC, in a corporation, in your individual name. It doesn't matter. Um, One of the things that I do like about my boutique, my bank, is unusual. We have unusual lending for investors, for um, self-employed. Oh, self-employed, where are you out there?
Yeah.
Raise your hands.
On it. Bridget.
Okay, self-employed. Steffi's like, yes, yes. Well, you have special circumstances because we know the truth of the matter is you may be earning X, but you're showing Y.
Right.
And
Z
therefore,
and zero.
No, negative.
yes,
Negative zero. No, it doesn't exist, but yes, you get my
yes.
point.
So here is where this type of my bank might or this type of boutique company comes into place. It specializes in helping self-employed borrowers, those who don't show anything on their tax returns, who don't have W-2s, who don't have pay stubs.
Oh wow.
So this is the type of lender that you need to kind of, be married to so that you can buy your first investment, second investment, so on and so forth, and become the real estate guru that you want to become, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is really something I just wanted to make sure that I brought forth because
Well, Bridget, now that you since you brought that up, I do get a lot of questions about programs that are available like that. So let me ask you, does East West service just all states, or are you only in certain states?
good question. We're in 7 states. So we
Oh,
happen to be in Texas, New York, let's see that, California,
I don't believe it.
Boston, uh-oh, Georgia, Nevada,
What? Where is
and California.
PA?
Not yet. Look, I have an investment property in Maryland, and I can't do anything through East West with that one because it's in Maryland, so it's not in one of our footprints.
Oh,
Well,
But
okay.
yes,
guys,
it
you
is.
heard it here first. If you are in any of those 7 states, then East West Bank can definitely assist you with a lot of different unusual financing. So if you are self employed in Texas, Nevada, California, and she named some other ones, but you
Yes.
have to listen to the replay. Make sure that you are definitely connecting with East West Bank because the financing is out there, and you know
Yes.
a lot of times we look into doing the hard money loans, or we look into just different
Right.
ways to invest or different ways to finance, but there is financing out there. So for those of you who are self-employed, who have challenges with your tax returns and you're not showing any income, then
Exactly.
this is something that you will want to look into so that you are able to still purchase that investment property, still build wealth, still gain some income, and still pass something down to your family.
Oh, I love that, Stephanie. I love that. She said, pass it down to your family. Well, I want you to know that real estate not only is the fastest growing industry, it is an industry that will help you to become wealthy. Because in the 1970s in New York,
Hmm.
the average cost of a home was $72,000. 1970s. In the early 80s, we had declining,
Hmm.
right? The actual prices declined. But somewhere around 1988, the prices began to increase. Now, look at where we are today in 2021. Okay? The average price now I know in the Texas market, in the Houston market, what, 380, $400,000?
It's definitely in the upper 300s. Yes,
Yes, and rising, right? New
definitely
York,
rising.
you can't even touch anything under $600,000
Wow.
unless you're going out way out into the Suffolk County area. Maybe you'll find something around 480.
City. Yeah. Yeah.
And Pennsylvania,
Hmm. Yeah.
rising as well.
Hmm.
So by acquiring a property, and it will help you to become wealthier. It'll help your family. Pass it on to your family. If you decide that you are going to hold it, maintain that property. And if you are getting into any kind of financial situation, seek out help. Help is everywhere to be found.
Hmm.
So I say to you that this is how you can become the, truly a wealthier person. Your family can do better. And just a quick story. When I first bought my home, I bought a co-op in Forest Hills. And that was because I went into the dry cleaners, and the woman who was Asian she said it as a matter of fact. She said, I took all my expensive clothes in there. I had everything. I had my Coach, I had my Prada, I had my Harvey Bernards. And she said, oh, beautiful, beautiful. And she held up my stuff and she said, one moment, miss, do you own home?
Oh.
A light bulb went off over my head. She was saying to me, you have all these expensive clothing, but do you have an appreciable asset? And no, at the time I didn't. But I made it my project, and I did. I went that moment. I went upstairs and I called my brother and said, "I'm gonna own a home." He said, "Okay, I'm gonna match you for every dollar that you save."
Oh,
And that's how I
wow.
started on my first home. So now I have three or four, three. I sold one.
Wow, that's a great story.
That is a great story.
Hmm.
That is. So, Bridget, before we go, are there any products specific to East West Bank that you would like to share with the audience besides, of course, this unique product for our self-employed, is there any other product that you feel our audience needs to know about to assist them in their investment buying journey?
Sure, I really do. And listen, you may not hear a great deal about East West because we don't advertise. And I think we do that because we know we have a great product. We know that we don't really have to. The bank is $48 billion in assets. We closed over $1.8 billion without any advertisement so far this year.
Oh, wow.
So I think one of the products for the first time home buyer product, you could put down as little as 3% and no PMI. Because, ladies and gentlemen, PMI right now, you can't write it off on your taxes. So if you're paying $150 or $160 extra a month, you can't write that off. So you could have a product with as little as 3% down, no PMI, fixed rate, 30 years, and be able to say that you could afford something with with little or nothing down. That goes for people in Texas and New York and all those states I mentioned, California, all those states. And then, of course, as an investor, if you did happen to have gotten a hard money loan, like I talked about earlier, and now you want to flip that property, now you have to pay off that hard money. Those hard monies have prepayment penalties.
Hmm.
We could take that hard money loan, pay it off for you. We have no prepayment penalties on our mortgages. And that goes for investor, that goes for first time home buyers. It really, I must say, and there's down payment assistance money available. So let's get you a home, whether it be an investment property or your primary. That's what we're here to do, right? House, then car.
Absolutely.
So I hope that helps.
Well, thank you so much, Bridget. And guys, again, Bridget is from East West Bank. A lot of you are very unfamiliar with East West Bank, which you need to get familiar. So, we are bringing things to you to help you become homeowners, to help you become investors, to help you build wealth. So, East West Bank has unique products. East West Bank has great products. So, again, please reach out, and if you are interested in purchasing a home, look into East West Bank for your loan. If you need to get funds for your investment project, then East West Bank has something out there for you. So we want to ensure that you guys are taking notes. I hope you had your pen and paper today. So make sure that you're writing down East West Bank. And Bridget, why don't you name those 7 states again, where East West Bank is currently servicing?
Sure. We're servicing New York, Boston, California, Georgia, Texas, Nevada, California. Or did I say that twice? Yes,
I think
So
you
correct.
said that one twice.
New York,
Okay. New York,
Massachusetts, California,
hmm
Texas, and Nevada,
and Georgia.
and Georgia. Got it.
hmm Yes, exactly. So, any of those 7 states, happy to assist you. Be aware that you would need to contact myself or one of our mortgage business development officers. You can't walk into our branch and obtain the product. So to make it even a little bit more interesting, you have to contact one of us in order to obtain the product. We're here in the field, we're the boots on the ground in order to help um, people of color to buy homes. That is our specific mission, and I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Erica, do we have any audience questions?
No, we don't. But I do want to ask Bridget, if you don't mind, just so people can hear the replay. Like, how does someone get in contact with you or one of your loan officers?
Sure. You can email me at Bridget, Bridget,
Mm-hmm.
dot JOB like boy, E like Edward, at eastwestbank.com. You could also call 929-237-8976. So again, 929-237-8976, or bridget.job at eastwestbank.com. And I'm happy to help.
Right, guys, because she already said you can't just walk into the branch and say, "Hey, Bridget told me I can get a loan here," so don't do that.
Thank you, Stephanie. Absolutely. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, so don't just walk in, but definitely reach out because we want you guys to be able, and like Bridget said, of course, we want to further assist people of color because sometimes we do have it a little bit harder to obtain loans. So this is something that we want to ensure. One thing we did not talk about, Bridget, you did mention that they could obtain the loan and only put 3% down. Do you know what the required credit score is for that product?
Oh, yes. Minimum credit score for that product is 620. Now, the higher your credit score, the we will allow, if your credit score happens to be 700 or higher on that product, we will allow for a 55% debt to income ratio, which
Oh,
is
wow.
unheard of.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, that's a whole other segment because we're probably thinking, what do you mean by debt to income ratio? But that's amazing, though.
Well, we're going to, okay, but that will be our next segment.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about that
it's
and
amazing.
qualifications, right? Look,
Yeah,
there's a lot.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so guys, you heard it here. 620 minimum credit score, only 3% down. So that is really big because just the average FHA loan, it's 3.5% down. So this is something that you would want to look into because Bridget already let us know you're not paying the private mortgage insurance on this product. So this is something that will save you on your monthly payment because FHA loans automatically come with the PMI and it's for the
Yes,
life of the loan. So although that's a
correct.
great product and everybody, is like, hey, you can get a house with this. Don't just settle for that. Make sure that you're looking at all of your options because with a 620 credit score, you are able to utilize this particular product with 3% down and no PMI. So that is definitely going to save you money each month on your monthly mortgage payment. So thank you so much for bringing that to us, Bridget. Thank you so much for joining our
Thank you.
show today. We love to have you back on another show. So make sure, guys, you stay tuned next week. Next week, Erica, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we're going to have some dynamic women talking about their experiences in new construction or building or rehabbing. And I know it's
Oh,
going to be a great time. One, because you don't see many women in the new construction field. And then
true.
on top of that, to see people of color in the new construction field. I already have my notepad ready because I'm going to be taking some notes. Yeah. So I'm hoping that everyone else will be able to join us as well. It's going to be same time, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. Pacific. Am I right? 1 p.m. Is it 1?
1 p.m.
No, it's actually going to be
Oh,
12,
12.
12
12.
p.m. Pacific.
12. Yes, 12 p.m. Yes.
12.
So please join
Mm-hmm.
us.
So I know I'm
Yes,
going to
guys.
be there.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be a wonderful show, and we have some great guests next week. I'm not even going to tell you who's going to be on the show because I want you to tune in. So, we will be putting out another flyer. So, stay tuned. Make sure you like, follow, and share all of our social media. We are House Then the Car. You can find our resources at houseinthecar.com. And there's a lot of free resources on our website, guys. So make sure that you are utilizing houseinthecar.com. Follow us on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. Erica's going to start doing some TikToks. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to start doing some TikToks.
She said, that's new to me.
Mind blown.
I like to mess with Erica, but no, guys, trust me, you don't want to miss our next show. This Super Series Tuesday is going to be a great series, guys. So continue to tune in. Next week, episode 3 is going to be about women in building. So another way for you guys to invest. Women, join our show. Even guys, if you're watching, join the show. If you're interested in being a builder, a developer, we have some great guests next week. Tune in, guys. Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you,
Thank you.
Erica. She's always amazing. Thank you for all the knowledge that you have brought to us today, Bridget, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time.
Thank you.